Yo, welcome in everybody. Now, I'm bringing to you here what seemed to be some sort of data mine from the beta, or I don't know if it's some kind of leak or something, but there's a website up here, and all I can do is take the word of the person who made this site that everything on here is accurate. And what I do believe is this is something that was taken from the beta. So anything you see here could technically be changed from now until the actual game launch. So take all that into consideration when we go over here and take a look at there's a bunch of different unique items and all the different legendary mods that you can get on stuff. And look at how long this list is. So no, I'm not going to read each and individual one, but what I do want to go over is what we haven't really seen a whole lot of, and that is these unique items, because in general, they don't drop till after level 50. I understand that there was one from the butcher that you could get. I believe it was an axe or something. I have to take a look again exactly what that was, but I want to take a look at some of the most interesting uniques here that really just like spark my curiosity. And I'll go ahead and put a link down kind of at the bottom of the description that you can get a link to this website right here if you want to take a look at all those different legendary mods and all the different unique items. Now, the first one I want to take a look at is this Overkill right here. And as part of this, I'm going to go over kind of what some of this stuff means, because at first glance, this can be a little bit daunting, we'll say. So up here, inherently overpowered damage. So these all have different things like this, resist jewelry, all and stuff like that. It's just like a standard thing that's going to be on it. Right underneath this is a two-handed mace, unique for the barbarian. So this one's specifically only for the barbarian. As we go down, there'll be some for the sorceress. Some of them will say that they're kind of based for all different characters. So then it has a list of a few different stats on this particular thing. Damage to low life, pretty self-explanatory. Crit chance to low life, so there's monsters that have a low amount of life. Elite kill damage, so you deal even more damage after you kill an elite there. And a skill rank bonus for the barb's special death blow. So specifically, this aspect that is on it is for the death blow. And it's very interesting. Death blow is already super sick in my opinion. And now it's going to be even better, because every time you killed a monster, the cooldown would completely be eliminated. You could just use it over and over and over again. As long as you're killing something with it, it is the death blow. Now, some of these things don't have the exact numbers because there's a calculation involved based upon your level and different stats and a bunch of different things like that, the damage of different things. So there isn't the actual thing. So you kind of got to jump around and kind of read exactly what each one is. But death blow creates a shockwave that shoots out, similar to when you would on the Druid slam down your fist and it would shoot out the shockwave with a certain particular aspect as this, but shoots out the shockwave, dealing a certain amount of damage of its base damage to enemies. Enemies who die to this effect are also reset. The effect is also reset. So that makes Death Blow even more crazy. This is one that I definitely hope I find at some point and get to use, because I feel like that, especially for clearing just individual mobs, that's going to be pretty sick. And I'm going to jump right to the next one here, Fields of Crimson, because this actually boosts up a skill Rupture, which I really liked. So obviously the crit damage up here at the top, two-handed sword for the barbarian only. We've got extra damage for two-handed slashing weapons, which would be this one right here. You've got damage, DO, damage over time. DOT, I believe, stands for damage over time. And cooldown damage reduction, CDR, cooldown damage reduction to Rupture, I believe is what that stands for. And you also get a bonus to the skill Rupture as well. But while using this weapon, damaging at least one enemy with Rupture creates a blood pool that inflicts bleeding damage over time. So over a certain number of seconds, excuse me. So enemies standing in the pool take increased bleeding damage. So Rupture already was sick as it is. You're creating a radius, a blood pool, just as it says, and you're going to be damaging even more monsters, even more area of effect. So there's another one that I am super interested to get my hands on and use. Now we've all seen those whirlwind barbs out there absolutely wrecking, and this Gore's devastating grips is going to be another one maybe that's going to get thrown on there, because it's got all this other stuff on it. I don't need to go over that. So on kill, you get Fury and stuff like that, so you can Whirlwind just forever. You'll never run out of Fury, apparently. But when you do end it, Whirlwind explodes at the end, dealing total base damage dealt to surrounding enemies. So if it does run out, boom, massive explosion. It's fire damage, dealing even more damage when you end up stopping, if there ends up being any way that you do run out of Fury, or if you just stop for some reason, kaboom, mass explosion. Now we'll jump into some Druid ones here, and I just kind of quickly point out, because the Druid is incredibly weak early on, through the 25 leveling portion of the game anyways, but perhaps there's been some a speculation that later on it'll be a lot more powerful with a lot more stuff really helping it out. And so right here, just the basic skill of Claw, it now changes into a Storm skill, but it also casts Storm Strike at its normal damage. So this could be one of those instances. So that's just a base damage of the Claw. It now also casts Storm Strike at the exact same time. It could be a case where later on, this is a way that things are getting boosted up for it. But I do love those transforming stuff. So Mad Wolf's Glee over here has got me real interested. So werewolf form is now your true form. So as you're just running around, you notice that if you're ever in werewolf or werebear, you would just transform back down to the person after a short period of time. Now it's kind of the opposite, I suppose. If you're ever in human form, you now will transform back into werewolf form, or you'll just stay in werewolf form all the time, pretty much. So that's kind of interesting. You also gain a ranks to all werewolf skills. You increase movement speed. There's actually types of poison damage, so that's kind of like the rabies druid stuff, boosting that stuff up. Damage types, bonuses to physical. So this is one. The druid was actually very fun, even though it was so challenging early on. After getting a few pieces, it was very fun to play. So I am interested in trying this one out here because it just running around in the werewolf and werebear forms just seems so fun to me. And then Insatiable Fury down here, and it's like the opposite of that one, not for the werewolf, but now for the werebear. So werebear is now your true form, gaining ranks to the werebear skills. So each one of these I am very interested to throw on. I do just love the whole character design of transforming into the werebear and werewolf. I think they look amazing, and like I said, after you get some gear pieces, they were very fun to play. And an interesting way that I have started to notice some of these things synergize with each other. This one over here, your true form is werebear, but also you get one rank to all werebear skills. And then if you throw something else on, that's a chest piece, we do notice. And over here is a helm, Vasily's Prayer, and your skills, your earth skills are now werebear skills. So you'll get one to all skills, and now your earth skills are werebear skills. So you can then use the earth skills, and you'll get the boost up for the werebear skills, but the werebear skills are boosting up the earth skills because they're not werebear skills. So there's a ways these uniques here seem to sometimes, at least for the druid, I'm noticing work together to boost each other up. And cool that there's actually unique rings that are class specific. I'm primarily from D2 if anyone's new to my channel and didn't know. So it's interesting having class specific rings here. But this one, for the druid here, pretty darn interesting. So you gain a bonus when you kill with any shape-shifting skill. It says up at the top. So your next werewolf skill, non-ultimate. So that's important to know. The ultimates aren't going to count. But werebear skills cost no resources and don't have any cooldown. And your werewolf skills heal you when you deal damage is first dealt. So that's a cool bonus there, kind of pushing towards the transformation type of play. And like I said, that was one of the fun ones. I didn't have as much fun with the elemental caster stuff. I really love the werewolf and werebear type of stuff, and I'm glad that there's this stuff in the uniques here boosting it up. So this is Zoo's Heirloom. We're moving down to the Sorceress one now. I could go over the Druid ones forever, just because they all so interesting, and it's hard to really like contemplate the way they're all going to work together. But looking at some source here, shrine duration, I'm assuming that means increased, which could be crazy if it's a significant amount. If that's a 50% boost or doubling or something crazy like that, it's probably just like a 10% or something. But shrine duration increased could be crazy because shrines in this game are super powerful. So elite kill movement speed, so you're going to move them fast there. Generic faster moving speed. CC duration reduction slow. But what's interesting here, crit strike chance has an increased chance of even more bonus movement speed. And I feel like just the distance between different mobs in dungeons and stuff like that, or when you're out in the world, is kind of large, to be perfectly honest. It seems like the packs are spread out. Monster density isn't too crazy in this game. So I feel like moving around more and moving around faster, you already have teleport on the Sorceress, so gaining even more movement speed is going to be key, I think, in Diablo 4. What I did notice, we'll just take a look at the next two here. It seems like for the Sorceress, a lot of times if there's anything that boosts up or helps something out, then you read the very bottom, and a lot of them tend to have a negative on them that I didn't really see on the Druid and on the Barb as much. So right here, after using teleport, close enemies are pulled to you and stunned. That sounds awesome. Like you telestomp somebody, they suck them in, and then, you know, you're going to have to be stunned and you have some time to free attack. But, big but right there, the cooldown is increased by a certain amount, which, you know, based upon a formula. Now, that's going to be unfortunate the cooldowns on this game are already pretty prohibitive in a lot of instances. You really wish they were shorter. You want to hit them more often. So getting a longer cooldown on a teleport is going to be quite a penalty for this one, but it is an interesting aspect. And once again, over on this other one, the fireballs now bounce as they travel, exploding, 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 exploding. But its explosion deals less, each explosion deals less damage. So essentially you'd have less single target damage, or maybe the way that you have to use them. I don't know how far apart these bounces are, if more than one explosion would be hitting one monster. But each one of these seems to have like a negative along with the positive on it. Here's another Ice Heart's Braze, and like I said, I don't want to go over all of them, but a lot of these sound so interesting. Enemies that die while frozen have a chance to unleash a Frost Nova. So if you're casting out stuff and you're freezing stuff, I mean, you could freeze entire packs and just stick them right in their tracks, just frozen right in their tracks, literally. So there's another super interesting one, and obviously a lot of other stuff on here. It'd take me 7 years to read off every single stat on each one, so I'm just going to try to go over the most interesting stuff here. Now we're jumping down to the Rogue, and I got to take a look at some of the most interesting ones. It's the Wind Force, baby! Now, it says core stats to all weapons. I'm assuming that means all of the different type of stats you're going to get a bonus to. Damage Spender. I'm not sure exactly what Damage Spender exactly means. My brain ain't coming together on that one, but increased damage to the enemies that are far, and a passive rank to the Rogue disciplines here. But lucky hit with this weapon have up to, it's hard to read sometimes with all these different calculation formulas in here, chance to deal double damage and knock back a target. So kind of funny, it's got some knockback on it, increased damage on the lucky hit and stuff like that. So love seeing the Wind Force added back into here, Diablo 4. Oh boy, as if necromancers needed to get more powerful, am I right? But Howl from Below, these are gloves too. So right here, look at this aspect. Instead of detonating immediately, Corpse Explosion summons a volatile skeleton that charges at random enemies and explodes. So now instead of just having random corpses exploding in spot where they're at, no matter where they're at on the map, you can raise up those corpses. They'll heat seek and target enemies and blow them up. So no longer do you have to try to lure a monster over the corpses that are on the ground or anything like that. You can just spread them up and boom, 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 blow them up. And on top of that, even corpse explosion damage is increased by an amount. So this aspect not only makes them seek out monsters and blow up, even if they're not by, but increases the damage. Now this one, boy, I don't even know what to say about that one. If nothing else changes, if you find this unique, your Necro is going to be OP like crazy. Oh, now right here, here's that one that a lot of people seen, the Butcher's Cleaver up here. When you critically strike an enemy, you have up to such and such chance to slow them. So yeah, this is the one that a lot of people seen that I didn't get it. I got waxed. The Butcher waxed the floor with me when he popped out, but I was like a level 12 Druid with no gear. So take that into consideration. The only time that I did see him. Ooh, baby, we got a couple from D2 right here. I don't know if these were in D3 too or not. I don't know how much stuff they had transferred over to that one. That game was not for me, but the Doombringer was in D2, and the Grandfather, an absolute classic. Everyone back in the day used it. Now Runewords took over in Diablo 2, obviously, with a lot of the changes they did, but an absolute nostalgic one right here for the Grandfather. This is going to be generic. See, right here is where I talked about where stuff isn't necessarily for one class, but it could be for a lot of different ones, but a two-handed unique that is generic for any class to use if you wanted to, I suppose. Any class that can use two-handed swords, that is, I suppose. But damage, health, core stats, all that good stuff, but increases crit strike damage by a certain amount. The other properties on this weapon can roll higher than normal. So that's interesting. It's hard to know exactly how that's going to play out. So all the different stats, damage, and stuff like that, I guess, can just roll higher than normal, I guess. But great to see the Grandfather make its face shown once again. And we got 3 in a row here. Love seeing at least the names from Diablo 2, Frostburns, and Darl's Visage. But the Harlequin's Crest, more affectionately known in Diablo 2 circles as the Shaco, simply the Shaco. So this is a unique generic gear, can be worn on anybody, I believe. So it's got health greater, so increasing your health, I suppose. CD reduction, so cooldown reduction, mega important. That way you can use those cooldown skills more often. utility find, which is interesting. I have not heard or seen anything about utility find. Is this actually increasing the chance of you finding things? Is this magic find? It might be. I'm not sure. Let me know down in the comments. But utility find, that sounds like magic find of some kind. And you've got core stats to all weapons. So this would be something like on in Diablo 2, it's got like 5 to all attributes, or is it 2 to all attributes or something like that? I believe that's what that is. But gain damage reduction, which it has 10% damage reduction in Diablo 2. In addition to that, you gain rank to all skills. So it's kind of funny. They took a lot of the stuff from Diablo 2, and I believe even utility find means magic find, I think. So very interesting one right there. This, I mean, you might be seeing a bunch of green caps running around everywhere, huh? Even though I know you can transmog or whatever and change the look of it, but I'm slapping a green Shaco hat on my character instantly. All right, that's just some interesting uniques I wanted to go over since we wanted to show you this site. And I'm not going to go over, a lot of these are ones that we already seen. These are all of the legendary mods here. A lot of them look familiar to different stuff that you had taken off of a legendary and, transposed it or whatever it's called, putting that aspect onto a rare or whatever. So I'm not going to go over all those, but the link, like I said, at the bottom of the video. If you like the video, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe up if you're brand new so you don't miss any of the future Diablo 4 videos. When Diablo 4 comes out, I'm going to be hammering those out, and I'm going to be putting some Diablo 2 here in the meantime as well. Peace out, fellas, and keep slaying.